Hey, and welcome to the Melvin Live Show. And this is episode number 9. And in episode number 9, what I would like to talk to you about today is this idea about if you feel like quitting, right? Right now is unprecedented, right? The amount of uncertainty that it is in front of us is just unthinkable. And for many of us, especially for those of us who are attuned to planning and to be putting up a 1 year plan, 3 year plans, 5 year plans, these days I am not even thinking about a 1 year plan, let alone a 3 year or a 5 year plan. My time horizon is just like 6 months ahead. And really, it's because, the amount of uncertainty that is facing us is just unbelievable. Many of the things that we have based our decisions on has changed dramatically. And we in this situation whereby, everything is volatile, everything is, there is a fair amount of uncertainty. In the complexity of things, I think it has brought it to another level. And also, this whole thing is just totally out of whack. That said, for the best of us who are the optimists in us, right? We always believe that in whatever crisis, in whatever situation, there is a silver lining, and that in that silver lining itself is really to be able to do two things very, very well. And number one, I've said this before. Number one, it's to have a heightened level of observation skill. And so, because you need to observe very, very closely and monitor whatever is going on, very closely, and really pay attention to that, because it could give you a wealth of information, and many people would just look, but they do not see. And so, if you are, in a state of mind where you are prepared and you are also willing to kind of not be romantic, not be held back, not be shackled by past assumptions, then this is a great opportunity, because you would then be able to see other things that people might miss, or people might look but they do not see. And so observation skill, it's one. The other skill, it's actually learning. And I know some of you might be rolling your eyes at this point in time, but really learning. And when I say learning, it's not just about reading something, understanding something, but really learning on the go, and really learning to be able to address the situation at hand. And so it might require you learning a totally new set of skills, a set of skills that you have, probably in the past never ever thought that you might need those set of skills. For example, you might need to learn the skills of live streaming, creating your own show, because no one's going to give you a platform, but the platform is there for you to pick. And so right now it's up to you whether you want to be able to tap on that platform that is out there and do this and practice and make sure you get good at it, right? So I think learning is a great skill that you have to put into place right now. And I think here in Singapore, many people are talking about lifelong learning, but hey, it goes beyond lifelong learning. It goes into a situation whereby you have to observe very quickly what's going on, and in a very short period of time to be able to make decisions and to learn and to be able to execute on that. That's what I'm talking about, right? And so today I want to talk to you about quitting, right? As I mentioned, this is unprecedented time. There's so much uncertainty. And I think some of us who are in this space, especially those of us who are quote unquote, you think you are an entrepreneur, but actually what you have done is something crazy. And that thing that you have done is you have just created a job for yourself, a job that only you can do. Because, as an entrepreneur, what you are thinking about is how you are able to replicate yourself, how you are able to make various copies of yourself and to be able to move out there and to multiply that. So, but if you are the only one who is able to do this job, then I think, you are not an entrepreneur. You are just what we call self-employed. Now, self-employment, I think, especially for those of us during this situation, you have come across, many of us would have fallen into that situation whereby, you're self-employed, and because of the fact that you used to be able to do certain things that now you can't, and so as a result of that, you have no more income. Does that sound familiar? Now, of course, the government is doing whatever they can to kind of support you. They have the self-employed relief schemes, and there are other measures that are coming out. But if you are looking at those, handouts, and looking to basically get by based on those handouts itself, I think you really need to rethink your strategy. And this is where we want to get into, right? And I think, if you're in that space, and especially if you are if you have a family, I don't think it's about a situation of ego. I don't think it's a situation about, giving up the dreams. I think quitting might actually be the responsible thing to do. Why do I say that? Because if I have, not if I have a wife and I have two kids, I have my, elderly parents as well. And if the only income I get over the last couple of weeks, as well as the next few months going forward, is just going to come from, whatever the government is going to hand out to me, and I am still going to persist with that as I'm gonna make sure I work towards my dream. I think I'm just being irresponsible. And so now is the time for us to really look at what is the best thing to do, right? Because not all of us have got savings to last us for the next 6 months, or not all of us want to tap into our savings for the next 6 months. And you might not even know whatever you're doing, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? So there is a lot of uncertainty, which is why, in this community that I'm building, I'm really getting the people out there to think about, right? To before you do anything, right? Tap on something that is free. Tap on, existing technology out there that is free. Tap on things that you are able to scale it up. You are able to, it's going to be sustainable. In other words, from an economics point of view, you don't want to be paying like tens of thousands of dollars into a system. You want to use the system for free, but when you grow and you have more customers coming in, that's where you can start paying, because you've got revenue coming in. That's fine. But when you have no revenue coming in and asking you to pay $81 a month, that's going to be quite substantial. So the way that I've been teaching really is, you think about what you have. What is your what I call SEE, right? What is your strength? What is your experience, and what is your expertise? Now, once you have that in mind, the next thing you want to do is really to ask yourself, what problem does that solve? Because a lot of time, many people will say that, yeah, I could do this, I could do that. But man, I tell you, if you're the best car mechanic in the world, but no cars break down, you will be just a car mechanic with no business. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have, you have to be able to solve a problem, right? I know some people don't like the word problem, they say, well, when you're looking for a problem, you're about to find one. But let me ask you this: at this point in time, if you were to work with two groups of people, one group of people who are who are in that comfortable position, but not uncomfortable enough to take action. Whereas if you're working with the other group who are hungry enough to want to take action, which group is going to be easier to work with? Of course, the second group, because these are the people who would be activated and who would be inspired, who would be motivated to want to get up and do the thing that is required of them. Whereas the other group is going to tell you that, well, I'll just wait, right? And so here's the thing. It's like if you have a headache, right? If you have a headache, vis-a-vis you want to get really, really fit. Which one do you think you're going to be more inclined to reach out for immediate relief? Of course, it's going to be the headache, right? So deal with the problem, because the problem is something that people needs it fixed. Deal with the problem. And once you know that there is a problem, the next thing is you want to test, right? You want to test, because no one can tell you whether, what you're going to do, it's going to work. I can't tell you, right? You obviously might not be the best person to tell yourself, because you have some level of biasness. And you're not going to ask your mom, do you think this is going to work? Because your mom loves you, I think she's going to say, yeah, I'm going to support you. But is that really what you want to know? It may become what we call a false positive, right? We talked about that the other night. And so you really want to test it out. And the only people who can tell you whether your idea is going to work or not are your customers. If your customers are willing to open up their wallet, take out a credit card and pay you, then you know it's going to work. If they are not, then no amount of guru or experts or influencers to help you is going to create the demand where there is none, right? I kind of like that phrase. Let me say that again. No one can help you create the demand when there is none. So bear this in mind, you have a SEE, strength, expertise, experience. You need to know what problem does it solve. Once you know that problem that is solved, the next thing is you want to test whether people will pay for it, people will buy. And right now, in today's context, I do not know about you, but I would gladly take advantage of any tools out there that is going to provide to me for free. Yeah, because no money down, right? No money down, and I am able to test it. And once I test it and I know that it's going to work, and that's where, I get customers paying me. That's when I scale, right? And that's the way to be profitable. So the only thing that you're going to invest in is your time, right? And there are a few ways to leverage time, because, I conduct, a series. I'm going to be conducting a series of webinars to teach you exactly that, to teach you how to set up this system for free, and how you are able to take advantage of these two systems and to be able to test out whether what you have to offer is it going to work. And only if you know that it's going to work, then you start paying for the premium features, because right now you do not need that unless you want to get fancy and unless you've got a bunch of dollars to spare. Otherwise, what's better than free, right? And so you don't quit. You don't quit just because, you think that it's not going to work. You only quit when you have tried it out, you have tested out, and then because you have a responsibility, that's why you quit. All right? I know I'm making sense in a sense that, that's exactly what I'm doing, because, I know when to quit. I know when to quit. When I look at two of my kids and I'm not bringing any bacon home for too many days in a row, that's when I need to quit, right? And quitting is not failure. Quitting, it just means that you have decided to be responsible, to be a responsible person, and to do whatever it takes or whatever that is necessary to keep the lights on. Yeah. And you could still pursue the dream on the side. However, or I should say, it helps if when you pursue the dream on your side, you are doing it in your spare time, which right now you may have a bunch of it, and it doesn't require any money from you. All it needs from you is just a little dedication and some willingness to tweak and to meddle with some of this system. I tell you, it's not that hard. All right. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to know how to write, HTML5, CSS, none of that stuff. Right. I mean, I can show you exactly how it's doing. It's ridiculously simple. Okay. So have no worries about that. If you are interested, just leave a comment, say you're interested. I'll be more than glad to talk to you, and that's something that we can do. I'm open up for any questions whatsoever if you have about what is the system I'm talking about. If you want to find out a little bit more, feel free to ask me any question right now. In case you're wondering why am I doing this, I'm just crazy because 9 days ago I decided that, hey, why not do a live stream every day? When I was young, one of my dreams was to have my own radio show. And in fact, with one of my college friends, what we did was that we pretended that we have a radio show, and our radio show it's a countdown of the top 10 song for the week. And so we would write our own charts, and we would, put out what is our number one song for that week itself. And we pretend that we have a station, and we would introduce our top 10, and then we will crown the number one song. And every week, both of us would just look forward to, finding out what is each other's number one song. It was a lot of fun. So I've always had this dream of having my own show to be able to do all that. And of course, I never became a DJ because my dad told me that in order to become a DJ, you need to have a good command of English. I am helpless. I'm hopeless when it comes to English during exams. It's the worst subject I've ever done. Right. So no, I didn't pursue that. But now, this technology is available and it's free. Well, at least for Facebook, it's Facebook and all the other places is free, except for LinkedIn. That's where, when I stream live, I actually have to pay to stream live. Now, is that something that you have to do? Absolutely not, right? Because you have got LinkedIn, you have got Facebook Live, you got YouTube, you have got, Twitter, you have got Instagram. You have all these channels, right? And why are you not taking advantage of these channels? It's free, right? You have a webcam. I'm sure you've been doing Zoom calls, in the last couple of weeks. So you have everything there is there. Do you need this fancy DSLR that I'm using? I'm using a DSLR, by the way, right? I'm using a DSLR Canon ATD to be my webcam. I've got lightings, I've got soft light, I've got background decorations. I got the Blue Yeti mic. I got a pop filter. I have all these things, but are these things necessary? Are these things really absolutely necessary in order for you to do a live stream? Of course not. Right? You can start off crappy, but as long as you put in the work, you do the practice, and you are conscientious about that, you would improve. And if you provide real value, people are going to watch, right? People are going to watch. Okay, so do you like the background music? I I just love the background music for this episode. It's I call it the Ocean's 11 background music because it sounds really funky and all that kind of stuff. So once again, this is Melvin. I do not know what I call this show anymore. Should I call it the Melvin Live Show? Should I call it the Become a Better Person Everyday Show? Become a better dad. Become a better dad every day. I don't know. What do you think? Right? Leave me your comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think should be the name of the show. It doesn't mean I will take up your suggestion. It just means that it gives me an additional option to look at. Okay, so once again, every day I stream live here. I will talk about a bunch of stuff, and primarily every day I would pick a topic that I've learned or I've reflected and I want to share with you. And so my goal is that by watching me live here or catching snippets of it, you will be able to learn something to help you grow. What am I doing? I'm creating catalytic courses. I'm helping you to establish a flywheel system. What exactly is a flywheel system? We can talk about that in subsequent episode, but that's basically what I do. Right? Until tomorrow, I'll see you soon, and bye-bye for now.